G'day everyone, just out and about. A couple of things I want to talk about today is I've just got back from a 10-day trip, so I just want to touch on that for a little bit. Also want to talk about my cameras, the Sena 10C and the Drift Ghost 4K. Also I'm testing out today another jacket, a new jacket, and yeah, and finally I got an email today from Triumph saying all the specs are out for the 2018 Triumph Tiger, so we'll talk about that. First off, the trip. Yes, I had 10 days away. It was an awesome trip. I went to, I'll just give you a bit of an outline where I went. I went from here to Adelaide, then to Murray Bridge, from there to Border Town into Victoria, through Horsham into the Grampians, which is absolutely awesome. Stayed at Halls Gap. Then from there I went through the rest of the Grampians to Ballarat, then from Ballarat into Melbourne. I spent a couple of nights in Melbourne. Yeah, that was an experience driving through Melbourne. As you can see, this is the sort of traffic I'm used to. And yeah, I've driven in Adelaide. Adelaide's fine. It's a fairly busy city, but I know my way around roughly, so it makes a big difference when you know where you're going. But in Melbourne I just had to rely on the Garmin, and yeah, not long after I got into Melbourne it told me to turn off the highway, and of course it was all blocked off with roadworks, couldn't get through, so I just got a little bit annoyed. Oh, hey. But anyway, so yeah, 2 days in Melbourne. I spent the second day, which was Sunday, I caught the bus. I went to Phillip Island for the MotoGP, which was absolutely awesome. And I'm glad I did take the bus actually, because it was a pain getting on and off that island. So yeah, that was a good move, I think. So yeah, so I left there, I went through, I was right next to the Dandenong Ranges, so I'd done a small part of that. I didn't have time to do all of it, but that was really nice through there. And I made my way down to Sorrento, caught the ferry at Sorrento, across to Queenscliff, along the Great Ocean Road, stayed in Apollo Bay, and then from there I done a little bit more of the Great Ocean Road, and then back into South Australia to Mount Gambier, from Mount Gambier to Adelaide, and then Adelaide to home. So yeah, it was an awesome trip. Took my time, had plenty of time to have a look around, take in the scenery. So I've got some footage of that to come. Now I'll get on to the next subject. I was going to do all of it on the Drift Ghost 4K, which is an awesome little camera. I've got that set at 2.7K at 50 frames per second. So, and what happened with the Drift Ghost though, at 2.7K, the battery life isn't that great. You probably get, if you're lucky, an hour and 15, hour 30 maybe. So it's not really good for long trips. But they do make a bigger battery, and I managed to get one 4.5 weeks before I left. I ordered one, and not only did I find a battery, is actually Drift came out with a double cord, which allows you to plug in your microphone, and there's another lead that's got a USB connection on the end of it that you can run a battery pack on. Because the Drift Ghost uses the same input for the microphone, and same one, and you use the same one to charge off of. So yeah, that's it's a bit of a bummer, but they did come out with this cable, so which is fantastic, and so I ordered it. The day after I ordered it, it said it was filled, the order was filled, and they'd sent it off, which was absolutely awesome. So I thought 4.5 weeks, plenty of time. And yeah, what happened? It didn't arrive, did it? Usually stuff, it came from China. It was proper drift stuff, but it was from China. And yeah, usually stuff from there takes about 3 weeks. So I thought, yeah, plenty of time. But no, it didn't. It actually didn't rock up until 3 days after I got back home from my trip. And yeah, when it did rock up, it looked like somebody had used it as a soccer ball. It was fairly beaten up, but luckily the contents inside was well wrapped and it's all good. And I'm actually using the bigger battery on the Drift now. It's a 1500 milliamp, whereas the other one is a 500 milliamp. So yeah, it should get a lot more battery life. What's good about the battery as well is it's got 4 LED lights on it, so it lets you know what sort of state the charge is in. And not only that, it came with a charging cable as well, so you can use I use my Samsung charger, so you don't have to have it on the camera to charge it. So yeah, so I ended up having to use my Sena 10C, which is, it's a good all-round unit. I think I've said it in one of my other videos. I explained a bit more about it, but it only shoots video in 1080p at 30 frames per second, so the quality isn't just quite there. So there you go. But what was worse than that was the mic setup was pretty average, to be honest. It was not very good at all. Was not happy when I got some of the footage. I was looking at it. So, but I had it in my cheek pad, and I had a dead cat around it as well. But the sound, you got wind noise and stuff, so I'm not very happy with it. So what I've done is I've ordered a microphone for my computer, and I'll have to do a bit of voiceover, I think, on the video, just to make things a bit clearer, where I am, what I'm doing. So that should be on its way soon. So once that's, I'll start producing some of that footage for you and put that up, and hopefully it won't come out too bad. So yeah, so that's that. What else? Oh, yep, just got another jacket, so I'm testing that out. It's made by Dry Rider again. It's the Climate XO2, they call it. So it's basically, it is an all-season jacket, but it's mainly a mesh jacket. It's mostly all mesh, but you do get 2 liners with it. It comes with a waterproof liner and also a thermal liner. So you can pretty much use it all year round, I reckon, except for the really, really cold weather. So, and the reason I got this, because I only just bought a jacket, I took my backpack with me. Now, even though my other jacket, which is a touring jacket, it's called Nordic 3, it has got zips you can open up to vent air through. It's got 2 on the sleeves and in your forearm. It's got 2 zips on either side of your chest, so you unzip both and then you fold a flap down and button it up. So you got that, and there's 2 zips on the back that you open. I suppose they're exhaust, so the air can flow around and go out the back, and so you got a bit of airflow. But the trouble is, when I had my backpack on, it was covering the vents at the front on the chest, and of course the backpack was over the back ones at the back, so all I had really was the ones on my forearm. And on the first day I left, and on the last day it was a bit warmish. It was 35 degrees, but lucky enough they were the only 2 warm days. The rest days were pretty cool, which was really good. So it wasn't a big deal, but I thought, you know, later on down the track, if it gets really warm for several days in a row, I'll be struggling a bit. So I end up getting this jacket. So I might do a bit of a review on it after I've tested it out. I should have actually put my backpack on to test it out, but oh well, another time. What's the temperature is 26, so it's not that hot. But yeah, it's doing a really good job. I can feel lots of airflow. So that's that. What else? Oh yes, the new Triumph for 2018. All the stats are out, so I've written a few down. What I'll do is I'm going to test this jacket out a bit more, and this microphone, by the way, on the drift. I've repositioned it again to see if it works any better. And what I'll do is I'll go for a bit of a ride. I'll stop where I've done the first walk around on this bike, and we'll take it from there. But as for the mic, yeah, I don't know, I'm struggling. I don't know why. Some people just throw them in the helmets and it works fine, but me, I seem to be struggling with it. At the moment, I've got the microphone right at the front of the helmet, right near my mouth, and it's I've got a dead cat around it, and also on the camera itself, I've turned the sensitivity down to 1, which is the lowest. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad, or a lot better than it has been. So I'm going to test that out on the highway. So anyway, I'll probably switch off here, and I'll talk to you very shortly. Just touching on the microphone. It's not like this is a cheap helmet either. It's the Sony GT Air. And it's got one of those chin curtain type things, so there is a little bit of air getting in my helmet. I've got the vent at the front turned off, so there's no air coming through there. So there is still a gap between the chin curtain and my face. But yeah, what I might have to do is I might have to just pig out and grow a second chin to fill that gap. Maybe that'll work. I have to say, this jacket's working really, really well. Lots and lots of airflow, which is excellent. Like I said, I'm going to have to try my backpack on to see what it's like, but it's still going to be a lot better than my other jacket, that's for sure. So I'm happy with that. So we'll find a spot. Park up, and we'll just have a bit of a chat about these new Triumph Tigers. Yep, this all looks alright. Somebody's been out here having a campfire, and why not? Look at that. Okay. Alright, what I might do, I might swap to my other phone camera and we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll go through some of the changes I've got for the 2018 model.
for all models, I'm just going to go through like the XRX and the XRT models. I'm not going to worry about the XCXs and stuff, like the more off-road type bikes. So for all bikes, they reckon there's over 200 chassis and engine upgrades. They also receive a shorter ratio first gear, which is probably better off for the off-road type bikes. Probably helps them out more, whereas for the road version, I find the ratio is perfectly fine. Apparently they've all got new seat compounds. Again, I don't find the one that's on here an issue at all. Like I said, I've just done a trip and I found it perfectly comfortable. After about, it does get a bit sore about after 4 hours or 400 k's, somewhere there. But by that time, you need to stop anyway to get fuel or something to eat, drink, have a bit of a rest. So I haven't found like the seat an issue. I haven't heard too many complaints either from other people. And I've actually got a bony backside too, so yeah, not an issue as far as I'm concerned. It's got a revised handlebar geometry, so I'm not sure what that means. I know there's a few people have complained about they need risers for when they stand up. It's a bit low. Myself, I put rock risers on it because I wanted the handlebars a bit closer to myself. So maybe they've solved that issue. I don't know, unless you actually go and test it. All models have new badges, graphics and paint finishes, which I'll get into a bit later. Also all models come with a smaller muffler, which is great. But to be fair, most people change the mufflers anyway, but at least for those that can't or are not fussed, they are smaller and lighter. So, and yeah, the ones that came on these, you must admit, they're pretty bulky and hideous looking. So that's a good upgrade. As for horsepower, not a lot has changed. They say the new ones have got 94 brake horsepower, 70 kilowatt at 9,500 revs. The older models, or this model, is 95 brake horsepower at 70 kilowatts at 9,250 revs. So not much has changed there. The same with, they're both 79 newton meters of torque. The new ones, the torque is at 8,050 revs per minute, and this model is at 7,850 revs. So again, not really a big difference. Yeah, so that's that. Now with the XRX model, which is the middle of the range, it will come with the full colour 5-inch TFT display, which I'd say is the similar setup as the new Street Triple. It also comes with what they call switch cubes. So that's the new switch gear with the 5-way joystick. Again, that's probably just like the Street Triple. It comes with LED daytime running lights and also Brembo front brakes. So these are the Nissan ones. And again, I find these quite good, quite adequate. I mean, they're really good actually. So, but anyway, they've upgraded them to Brembos. What's a good thing for most people is it's going to come with a 5-position screen and aero deflectors. So I know there's been a few complaints from people about the screen. For me, I haven't found it to be an issue, but then a lot of people are, or most people are, taller than me, so they find there's a lot of buffeting around their head, even with the bigger screen that comes with this model that you can buy as an extra. So that's probably a good upgrade. So we'll just have to see when people do reviews and stuff to see how effective that is. But I reckon it'd be probably better than the ones that are on them now. 4 rider modes, which is the same. It's got an update. It says it's an updated cruise control, but it doesn't really go into it, so I don't know what that really means. I found that the cruise control, I used that quite a lot when I was away, and yeah, I've no issues with it whatsoever. The new colours for 2018 for the XRX is a jet black, a matte black, a crystal white, or what do they call it, a lucerne blue. There's no mention of this colour, which is the matte silver. So maybe, and they didn't do it last year, so maybe it's just a 1 year, one colour for 2017. So this makes this one a little bit special, if that's what I'm reading anyway. For the XRT model, that gets all that, plus it gets more. It gets more goodies. It gets the Showa front and rear suspension adjustable. It also comes with the backlit switch cube. So yeah, that's good. So all your handlebar controls will be backlit. I think they should do that on all models, but no doubt they'll probably roll that out over time for all models. But at the moment, it's only available for the top of the range one. As for me, that's not a big deal because I don't ride at night anyway. But for those that do, that's a good upgrade. It has the XRT comes with 5 rider modes, and it's also got on the site on their website. It's got 6 screen styles. So I'm not too sure what that is, unless you just get to choose what screen style that you want. Don't know, don't really know. And the top of the range one comes with all LED lighting, including the blinkers and rear light, tail light. So, and the colours for the XRT are crystal white, silver ice, which is metallic silver, and a matte cobalt blue. So that's the colours for 2018. As for the difference in paint schemes and stuff like that, where this one is the sticker where it's got Triumph, I think the new ones, they're actually raised lettering, chrome type lettering, which is the same as what you get on the Thruxton. And on here where it's got Tiger XRX, I think they've just got on massive letters Tiger right the way along here, and then whatever model it is, I think it's around about here, just in small lettering what model it is. As for the difference in colours, or what they've done, is this piece here is going to be the same colour as what your tank is, which, not this piece here, but this piece which goes right around to the front, right around to the nose. It's going to be the same colour as the tank. And on the side here, this side panel, they're going to extend the tank colour down here, right down here to this piece. But I think here and this piece here is going to be just what this colour is here, just in silver. As for the motor, again, I think they've done what they've done to the Street Triple on the motor, on these casings. Like this casing here, this one here and here is going to be like a lighter grey colour. So that's a small change there. I prefer the all black myself, but yeah. So yeah, that's basically most of the changes that they're going to do for next year. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when people do get their hands on them and do reviews to see what they think. But anyway, so that's about it for me, guys. So I'm going to sign off here. So ride safe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.